Namaste, I am Dr. Kerry Kriger, IndianFluteMusic.com. This is volume 3 of Bansuri Q&A, where I answer your questions about the Bansuri bamboo flute from northern India. And today's question comes from India, from Shikar Singh, who asks, how should I practice daily? How should I practice daily? Which I assume means, what should I practice? There's a lot to practice in music. There's so much to learn. And Shikar, I believe, wants to know what to do every day when you sit down to play your Bansuri. And the first thing that I would want to know from Shikar is, do you have a teacher? Do you have a guru? Because if you do, then you would start by practicing what you've been taught. Ideally, what was the last lesson you got taught? That's probably number one thing you should be working on. Besides that, you should go back in time, practice your old lessons, make sure you can still play them, make sure that you have learned how to play them at all. So that's of crucial importance in Indian music. Indian music has been handed down for centuries, for millennia, through the Guru Shishya Parampara, which means the teacher-student tradition. So when you have a teacher, you're getting lessons, and you should know what to practice. Let's get a bit more general, though. What should you practice in general? Okay, so maybe you haven't had a lesson in a long time, and you have tons of material. What should you do? Well, when you're playing a raga, you usually start with alap, which is slow, and then you move on to compositions and tons, jala, faster parts of the raga. So why not do that also when you're practicing? Pick your raga. Number one, first sit down, pick a raga. Now, a lot of times I don't know what raga I'm going to play when I sit down to play music, or even when I pick up my flute. It just comes to me, and the first raga that comes to my head when I put my flute to my mouth, that's probably what I'm going to play. Maybe I have a raga in mind, but whatever it is, you pick your raga, and then why not start with playing slow? So you could work on your tone. You could just play saw for a few minutes. You could slowly go up and down the scale, or you could just start by playing some alap, assuming that you have the basics in how to play alap. So let's pick a raga. Let's play Janasa Mohini. Okay, I just thought of that. I was playing it earlier. First time I'd played it in a while. So I'll set my Tanpura on Janasa Mohini. Have a little Swarmandal there in the background. And without thinking of it, the first thing that I did was play a long saw, because that's usually how I would start a raga. You can always start a raga by playing a long saw. Now, as I said, I could either just practice the scale, do that several times, or I could just start playing alap, play alap for a few minutes. And onward. Now, by the time I've played alap, and that's just improvising, then I'm warmed up, and now if I know a composition, I could start the composition. If I know a composition, it's going to be set to a tal, a rhythm, And I have my handy app here that will play me. This happens to be iTabla Pro for iOS. There's plenty of alternatives. I'm going to turn on the tabla. Teental, 16 beats. Because the composition that came to my head is in Teental. The first thing to practice, and ideally if you have learned from a teacher, you would have the music written down, either printed out on paper or maybe a PDF on your iPad or tablet. Have that open in front of you so that you can read it while playing. You don't have to always be looking at it, and you shouldn't always be looking at it, but it's there if you want to refer to it, because chances are, if you learned it certainly a while ago, you don't have it completely memorized. It's good to have it in front of you. Maybe you have tons written out or other things that you want to see. So have your composed music written out, printed, or digitally visible in front of you so that you can play with it. So you've got your tabla going in the correct rhythm. You're playing the composition. Play the composition over and over until it's completely ingrained in your mind. And then either you have tons, improvisations that are written out and composed for you. You can practice those, or if you don't, hopefully you know enough about the raga that you can make up some tons. So, for instance, going back to Janasa Mohini, turn this tabla up a little bit. Starts on Sam, Cali, Sam, Cali. So I'd make up improvisations like that. Those are tons. And after I do tons for a while, then I can work on jala. That's how you could practice a raga that you're working on. Alap, composition, tons, jala. Now let's get a little bit more general. Right there, we had something that perhaps we were taught by our teacher, okay? So we can go practice that. And some of that's going to be composed, and that means for the composed stuff, you can work on it precisely, playing it over and over exactly how it was written. You could practice something that's hard, okay? Or you could put away all the compositions, put away everything you were taught, put away the paper, and close your eyes and just play music, okay? That's another thing that you should regularly do. Forget about all the compositions, or at least everything that's not in your mind that you can just play. Just play music. Just enjoy it. You could play something easy that you don't have to think too hard about, but ideally it would still be an actual raga, playing raga structure. Maybe you want to play other types of music. I only teach raga. That's the kind of music that I enjoy when I'm playing flute, and that's what I suggest people practice. So assuming you're going to play a raga, sometimes just play from your heart, improvise, listen to the music, enjoy yourself, see how deep into it you can go. So that's the opposite end of the spectrum. One side is play the composition perfectly, or not just the composition as far as the Italian gut, but anything composed, practicing something, whether it's Allen Carrs or exercises. Okay, that's like, how do I play this thing that I want to play perfectly? The other side of the spectrum is just, how do I get deep into the music, mentally into the music, so that I'm not thinking about playing something over and over precisely as it was written. I just want to get into the flow of playing music and improvising and enjoying it and forgetting about the rest of the world. I hope that gives you some things to think about. Thanks Shikar Singh for asking your question, how do I practice daily? That's what I would do. A combination of playing exactly what you were taught, and at the other end of the spectrum, just improvising, playing from your heart, and enjoying yourself. I am Kerry Kriger, IndianFluteMusic.com. Please check out the Indian Flute Music membership site at members.indianflutemusic.com. The best way for you to improve your flute playing is to get a guru, a teacher. If you ever want private lessons, I can do that online, possibly in person, but chances are you're somewhere in the world where I'm not, so we can meet up online. And good luck with your flute playing. Bye.